Hey guys, it's Melissa. In this video, I'm going to show you how to avoid the little white edge when you are printing and cutting with your Roland. I like to do everything in Silhouette Studio, so that's where I'm going to show you how to do this. So first we're going to open our file. I'm going to go to File, Open, and I have a file all set up, a file that I got from, oops, it's on my downloads. A file that is from So Fancy, so we are going to use that. This is the PNG, so I'm just going to open that up. These files from So Fancy typically come with a PNG, SVG, just kind of depends on the design itself. This one's set up for sublimation, so it comes as a PNG, which is great for us using on Roland and in Silhouette Studio. So what we're going to do is, you can see that this design has a black edge, okay? And so we can do this one of two ways. You can make a bleed one of two ways. The easiest way to do it when you have a design that already has an edge that is the same color all the way around is actually to make an internal offset, and so that's what we are going to do here. So first thing, we're just going to make sure that the edge of our current design is the same, the line color is the same as the border. So in this case, black. What you can see is that our line color, which is indicated right up here, is actually pink, so we're just going to change that to black. Didn't make a huge difference, but I like to do that just in case. And then what we are going to do is we are going to open the offset panel, which is the star over here on the left side, and we are going to select our design, and then we are going to say internal offset. Now what that is going to do, it is going to put a line 0.05 in this case inches in from this current edge. So it's going to be down here. Now it's hard to see because the line is black. I'm going to change it to white just so we can see what's going on here. And I'm actually going to increase this to about 0.07 just to pull the line in a little bit further, okay? And then I'm going to click apply. Now I am going to zoom us in a little bit closer so you can see what's exactly happening. So what we have done is this white line is the line that we are going to use to be our cut line, our contour cut line, when we bring it into Roland VersaWorks. So what you know is that obviously we need to take one more step before going from Silhouette Studio to VersaWorks. We need to bring this into Adobe, but this white line is the one that we are going to make as our cut line. So right now I need to select that white line, and it can be difficult to select, so I just select everything and then hold down Shift and deselect the rest of the design by clicking on it. And what you can see is that it's telling me that what's selected right now has a white line, and that's what we want. And then I'm just going to change that line depth to 0.25, and this, it will make it so that it's easier for me to select this line once I get it into Adobe, okay? All right, so now we have our design set up. If you want to size your design at all, you can do that. I'm going to, let's see, this current design is about 12 inches across. I need to make it a little bit smaller. We don't need it to be that big. Let's make it about 9, all right? And then we will go up to File, Save As, Save to Hard Drive. And we are going to tell this that we want it to save as a PDF. Let's see, and we're going to call this with bleed, because that's essentially what we did. We used the current design and made the border with bleed, all right? Now we need to launch Illustrator and open that design in there. So we're going to go here to our PDF, bleed. And what we will do now is select, I'm going to try to, I don't know if I can zoom it all in here, but what I will do is select that blue line. You can see it's turning blue, so I'll select that, and I am going to go up to Window, Swatch Library, Roland VersaWorks, which if you haven't installed this already, I have another video on how to do that, and I'm going to change that to that pink cut contour line. So now that line, the internal cut line that we made, internal offset, is the cut line. And what you'll see is that it will cut inside of our printed area, okay? And now from here, we can take this, and again, we need to export from here and save this one as PDF as well. And I'm just going to put AI in front of that so that I know. And then we will open that up in VersaWorks, and then we will print it and cut. Now, we have another alternative to this. Sometimes designs don't have this black border around it, okay? So let's go back into Silhouette Studio. I'm gonna show you another way that you can do this. I'm gonna open up a different design. I'm just gonna close this one out. I'm gonna open up a different design to give you another example. So let me find a design to open here by going to File, Open. Actually, I'm gonna do File, Merge, so it opens in this current work area. Let me find a design here to open. Okay, so I have this pumpkin. I'm gonna open the pumpkin here. And what you'll see is that this pumpkin does not have a big black border like our Stay Humble design does, okay? It has kind of like a sketchy type black all around it, which is fine, but it's not really gonna work for what our purpose is, okay? So what I'm going to do is, again, I'm gonna change that cut line that's currently there, the border line. I'm gonna change that to black, okay? And in this case, what we're gonna do is, again, we're gonna open the offset panel, okay? But this time, instead of doing that internal offset, we're gonna click offset. Okay, so the cut line, the offset was added, so I'm gonna click apply. Now what you can see in this case, I'll zoom in so you can see a little bit closer, is unlike the previous design that we had, this one, we have the offset line going outside of the design instead of in the middle. And again, that's what we want. So now what we want to do is we want to select that offset line. Zoom back out to make sure that I'm actually selecting the offset line itself. Okay, and then we're going to fill the offset with the color of either the border of the design, so in this case black. The majority of this design's border is black, or you can fill it with the same color as the shirt, okay? So you have to make that decision. Before we do that, well, we'll do that. So we have just the offset selected, and I'm gonna go up here and I'm gonna pick black. Okay, you see what it did there. And then I am going to select the design, and I am going to change that line color to, I'll make it something that's easy to see. I'm gonna make that one like green, okay? And I'm doing this so that when we move this over to Illustrator, it's easier to see. That green line, the one that's around the design itself, is the one that we wanna increase to 0.25, okay? And now we are ready to pull this into Adobe Illustrator once the design is the size that we want it. So I'm just gonna resize this a little bit. This is a large file, okay? And we will we will save this design out as well. Same exact way. File, save as, save to hard drive, and we are gonna call this one pumpkin with bleed. We're gonna make it a PDF. We're gonna click OK. Same thing, we're gonna go back to Illustrator. Again, we're gonna click File, Open. We're gonna pick that pumpkin, open that up. And this time we are going to, so you can see we have that internal cut line. So this time, again, we want the internal cut line to be the one that we are going to cut. So we are going to tell it that we want that to be the contour cut line. And that line has now been selected, okay? And again, we're gonna do File, Save As. We're gonna save this one on the computer as a PDF. I'm gonna put AI in front of it so we know that that's the correct one that we wanna open up in VersaWorks. And then we will launch both of these, open both of these files in the VersaWorks queue. What you can see when we bring it into VersaWorks and open up the design settings is that the cut line, that red perforated line, is not right on the edge. It's inside. And so that black part above, that's the bleed that we created. So now we can send this to print and cut on our Roland. And when it is done, we will be able to weed away or peel out the vinyl sticker, and you'll see that we'll end up having some black area actually left behind on the full piece of vinyl, which is exactly what we want, because that will mean that the vinyl sticker itself won't have a white edge. After the Roland is done printing and cutting, now you can remove your design. Now, normally I would cut this off of here and weed, but I just want to show you how effective adding that bleed line is. So in this case, I'm just going to pull up the design right here while it's still on while it's still connected to the machine. And what you can see, first of all, is that you've got some of the black area still on the larger sheet. That's the bleed that we created. And what that does is, as you can see, since there's black there, it means that there's no white on the image itself. And so we have here a perfectly cut design that has no white areas around the edge. So creating that bleed is very, very helpful for when you are making, whether that's vinyl stickers or other types of print and cuts. The entire area, the entire black area is left on here, and just creating that little bit of a bleed area means even if the cut is off a tiny bit, which maybe it is, there's a larger bit of black here than in some of these other little areas, but still where it was cut leaves you with a vinyl sticker that has no black on or no white on the edge.